all of you. Just a couple logistics. This session is being recorded and will be shared with you after we finish. In addition, if you could make sure that your mics are muted throughout the time that we are together, and just utilize that chat to ask any questions that you might have. We do know that the smartest person in the room is the room, so if you have answers to people's questions, go ahead and answer those as well, because after all, we are better together. You will receive 1 hour PDH credit for attending live today. I'll put the link in the chat at the very end of today's session. But should you have any problems accessing that, please just reach out. I'll share my email and we'll make sure we get you your credit hour. Tomorrow, we have our really big student challenge that we're super excited for. So if you haven't already signed up your learners for that, please do so. It's super exciting, I'm sure. Lindy will dive into that a little bit more towards the end of today, but we're really excited today to learn about this assessment piece with Minecraft. So I will hand it over without further ado.
Okay, great. Well, welcome everyone. So today is our last teacher day training. So we're going to talk about assessment, and we're also going to kind of put some pieces together, talk about multiplayer mode and kind of the management of Minecraft and Minecraft worlds in the classroom. So that is the plan. Here is the sign-in link. It's the same as the last 2 days. If you missed it, aka.ms/Minecraft sign-in. And while we're kind of getting through our few little housekeeping things this morning, make sure you have your build from yesterday open and ready to go in Minecraft, because we're going to use that today to learn our assessment tools. So sign in is in the chat as well. So our little fun get to know you today. So I hear pineapple on pizza is like a Midwestern thing, from what I understand. It's a big thing in Montana, but my background, I grew up in Florida the first half of my childhood and then moved to Montana the second half of my childhood. I had never heard of pineapple on pizza before I moved to Montana. So since we have mostly Illinois people, I was curious, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Absolutely not. Nope. Yes, yes, no, it's gross, no. Yeah, mostly no's so far, but a few yeses. I say no. I don't think it's disgusting. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I could do without it. You know, I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. Nope, yeah, no. Love pineapple, but not on pizza. Yeah, I'm with you, Christina. I love pineapple, but I could just, yeah, it's fine if it's not on pizza. I feel like we have mostly no's. Mostly no's. So there you go. Maybe it's not a Midwestern thing. That's what I was always told. Pineapple on pizza. Midwestern thing. I should check, see. Let me see how many people we have on here while we're doing this. Show participants. What do we have? About 35. A little less than the last few days. Very good. Okay. Have you lost your mind if you love it? I know. I'm kind of with you. With you with the pineapple. All right. Moving on. So again, here is the link to the PowerPoint, aka.ms/Minecraft IDEA presentation. We'll take you to the slides. And let me tell you what slide I am on before I forget. I'm on slide 207. So that's where we are starting today. And here's our collaborative Padlet. We're not going to use it today directly, but if you want to open it up and add any tips or anything in there, you are welcome to. tinyurl.com/munchinmine. All right, so today we are also going to have all of our groups together. So our brick block groups and our iron block groups, I'm going to have you all in the session here. So we will stay together, and here are our learning objectives. So we kind of jumped into this a little bit yesterday and learned about the camera and portfolio as a way that you can have students export work out of Minecraft Education Edition and share it. So today we're going to learn about another tool called the Book and Quill, We're going to learn about chalkboards, NPCs, and then just in general, exporting work projects for teacher or peer review, and then also a little bit about that management of Minecraft. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to give you your task overview. So this is just going to give you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to walk you step by step through how we're going to do it, just like we did yesterday with the build challenge. So here's what's going to happen. I want you to have your build challenge open in Minecraft from yesterday, and we are going to write one of the following, and I'll tell you how we're going to write this. Either a detailed description of your Minecraft world or a story that uses your world as the setting. Okay, so a lot of you did tree houses, so you could write a little story that uses your treehouse world as the setting for the story. So completely up to you. You can choose whichever one you want. So a description of the world or a story that uses the world as the setting. So that's our overview. Now let me walk you through how we're going to do this. So step one is I'm going to have you take pictures of multiple angles of your build. So you should have a few pictures already from yesterday from using the camera, but let's just do a little bit of a camera review and have you take some additional pictures. And we're going to use that as part of our writing. So step number one to take pictures is you need to open up your inventory. So E on a keyboard, or if you're on an iPad, you're going to tap the little ellipse 3 dots to the right of your 9 hot slot keys, and that will open up your inventory. And you're going to search for camera, and you're going to move the camera block down into your hot slot keys so you can use those. Okay. And by the way, I did check about exporting portfolio on iPad, and it does work. It works on mine. So if for some reason you weren't getting the option to export the portfolio on iPad, I would recommend making sure your app is updated. If that doesn't work, just uninstall, reinstall, see if that works. But it is possible to export your PDF portfolios on an iPad. All right, so you're going to get your camera into your pockets or your hot slot keys, and then you're going to go exit out of your inventory, go into your world, and you should have your camera in your hand. So you'll select your camera down on your hot slot keys. So you'll see it there in the bottom right in your hand. And then let's just do a little reminder of our 3 different ways to take pictures. So you can always hold down, if you have an external keyboard, you can hold down the shift key and right click, and that will take a picture of anything that you're seeing in the frame. Okay, that's probably the easiest way. You can also aim your cursor at anything other than a block. So as long as you're not selecting a block and right click, or you can place your camera in the world and you right click it, and that takes a selfie. So if you're feeling pretty comfortable with the camera, make sure to try that option and see if you can get a selfie with your build kind of behind you. And if you're on an iPad, you kind of do a long press on the screen in order to take a picture. So iPad is like a long press on the screen, I believe, or tap. I think it's a long press in order to take a picture. So just go around, take a few pictures. I will check questions while you're doing that. Let's see. Okay, I don't see any. Good sign. All right. So we're going to take some pictures. And just so you know, I do have slides in here. Let me tell you what slide I'm on. 217. That goes through. And so I have this for each of the elements that we're going to talk about today, excuse me. So for camera, what it is, how to do it. So in addition to those screenshots, you've kind of got some step-by-step steps. Step-by-step steps. Let's try it again, Lindy. Some steps of how to use the camera. And there's also a link to a video that kind of walks you through how to take the camera. And then I also have a when for each of these tools. So kind of when would you want to use the camera? When would you want to use the portfolio, the book and quill, etc. So for the camera, it's a really great way for students to document their progress in their Minecraft world and share their learning out of their Minecraft world with either you, their peers, parents, community members, however you want to do that. All right, and then here's for the portfolio. We're not going to use the portfolio today. We're going to use a new tool called the book and quill. But here are step-by-steps, what the portfolio is, how to use it, and, oh, I don't have a how-to because it's the same as the camera. All right, so hopefully you've got some pictures. You can always go back and take more. Now, step 2 is we're going to use the book and quill to write your story. And just a reminder, either a detailed description of your Minecraft world or a story that uses your world as the setting. So let me walk you through step by step of how we're going to do the book and quill. So you're going to open up your inventory. So E on the keyboard or the ellipse button on the iPad. And if you just go into the search bar and type book, you don't need to type out the same thing, just type book. You should see a block that comes up that looks like this little icon right here, a book with a little feather quill. That's the block that we're looking for. And remember, when you hover your cursor over a block, it will tell you what that block is. So you can always hover over and it will pop up a little pop-up that says book and quill. And you're going to put that block into your hotkeys. Any of them. Doesn't matter which one. So book and quill. And then exactly the same as what we did with the portfolio, you're going to exit out of your inventory, go into the world and make sure you've selected that book and quill block that looks like this. So you'll see it in your hand, and then you're just either going to right click if you're using an external mouse, or you're going to long press if you're on an iPad, and that will open up the book and quill. And once you get it open, you're going to see this. So let me stop real quick, check questions. Okay. So Hilda, we always have the recording too. If you're having connection issues, we'll send that out. All right. So once you get into the book and quill, you're going to click on page 1, and that's where you're going to write your story. And it doesn't have to be a full book, just a paragraph or 2. So I'm going to pause here, let you guys do your writing, and let me know if there's questions, if anybody needs me to review how to get here to the book and quill. So we're writing our story. Don't click sign yet, because we're going to do one more thing to this before we close our book. So you're just going to write your story, just a little paragraph, few sentences for the sake of time. Not seeing any questions. It's a good sign. So you're either writing a story that uses your build as the setting, or a detailed description of your world or your build that you did yesterday. Okay. So next step, after you've got your story written, is we're going to add pictures to your book. So those pictures that you took with your camera, we're going to go through, and you don't have to add all of them, but choose 1 or 2 pictures that you're going to add to your book, or to your story, I should say. So to do that, down on the bottom of the page of your book and quill, there's an icon that looks like the second yellow arrow. It looks like a little pencil. If you click on that, you get the icons over here on the left. So this is how you can add additional pages to your book. You can delete pages. You can move pages around with this little guy. It looks like a page with a right arrow. That's how you can move pages in different orders. And the second icon looks like a little Polaroid picture with a plus sign. That's how you add your pictures from your camera to your book and quill. So you're going to click on that little icon on whatever page you want to add the pictures. So that's up to you. So you might want to start on page 1 with a picture. the pictures take up an entire page. So it will look like this once the picture is added. So depending upon what page you want to add your picture or pictures, you would click the little pencil icon on the bottom and then click that Polaroid plus sign icon. Oops, sorry. Click happy. And that will add the picture to that page. So you could add a picture in the middle of your story, to the beginning, to the end. You can add multiple pictures. It's kind of up to you. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to add our pictures, and I'll pause again. Any questions, add to the chat. Is there any way to edit text without backspacing everything? I believe you can just click into the text. Now let me jump out of here. I'll get into Minecraft and try that. Let's see. Where are you? All right, let's go in here. And let's go to our book and quill. Oh, nope, that's the portfolio. I don't have a book and quill. Let's go grab it. I'm going to search for book. Grab this little book and quill. Put it here. And there we go. Okay, so let's say I'm just going to write a bunch of gibberish here. You should be able to just click. Oh, you're right. I feel like you used to be able to do that. Just be able to click in there. Let's try it over here. Yeah, you're right. It won't let you click there. Can you arrow? Oh, you can arrow. For some reason, the cursor won't let you click, but you can move your cursor by using the arrows on your keyboard. So there you go. And then you can delete or backspace. Yeah, there we go. Somebody else, Amy, figured it out before I did. Nice job. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. So if you're on the iPad, you can move the space bar to move through the text. So you press and hold on your space bar, I believe, and it kind of drags the cursor around. How do you open the book in Quill? So let me back up here. You're going to, so you're going to grab your book and Quill from your inventory, put it down into your hotslot keys or your pockets. Then exit out of your inventory, go into your world, and if you're using a external mouse, you're going to right-click. That will open up the book and quill as long as you have it selected. So make sure you have selected the book and quill down here. Then right-click or a long press on the screen if you're on an iPad. Yep, Sunshine, that's my next step. Okay, so you should have a book and quill open that looks like kind of like this. So you've got your story and you've got at least one picture in your book and quill. And you know, you can put it anywhere you want, but it should kind of look something like this. And then you're gonna click on sign when you're ready down here on the bottom. I think I've got there we go, there's my arrow. So down here on the bottom, you're gonna click on sign. And that's going to take you to this view. Now, this is where you can add your book title. Note that it automatically says who it's by. So if you're using your own account, it will say your name, most likely your first name, last initial, but that depends a little bit on how your Office 365 tenant is set up. But some form of your account name should be under by. So that's really nice because it automatically attaches your student names to the book. If you're using our demo accounts, you'll probably see something like Explore One, or can't remember exactly what it titles it as. Okay, but just keep in mind if you are using those demo accounts, if you were in your account or your students were in their accounts, sorry, someone behind me, then it will put that title under the by. Okay, so title your book whatever you want to title it, and then just note where I have this red arrow pointing here, it says, if you click sign and close, down here on the bottom, you can no longer edit your book. So that's the one big thing to know about a book in Quill, is once you click on sign and close, you cannot go back and edit that anymore. You can't add any more text. You can't change text. You can't change pictures. It is done forever. You can always start a new book in Quill, but you can't edit that one. Okay. Can I show how to get to the title again for iPad? How to get to the title. Erin, do you mean how to get to the book in Quill block, or how to get to this screen, to the title of the book? Yeah, so it should be the same. It should look exactly the same as this on the iPad. You should have a sign button on the bottom. I can check here. I actually remembered to grab my iPad today. It only took me 4 of 4 days to remember this. I'm super proud of myself. Okay, let's open it. I'll see if it looks any different. Is there a maximum number of pages in your book? Good question, Sue. I don't believe so. I think you can add pretty much as many pages as you want. I have never hit a maximum. If anybody else knows if there's a maximum pages, not that I know of. I think you can just keep adding and adding and adding. So yeah, Erin, how to get to this screen. So yeah, so this screen on the iPad, you're going to, there we go. Let me back up a little bit. So let's get back. Okay, so same exact thing on the iPad. You're going to open up your inventory. So you're going to click those little 3 ellipse beside to the right of your hotslot keys. And then same exact thing. You're going to grab your book in Quill, drag it down to your hotslot keys. And the only difference on the iPad is when you get to this screen, you'll press to select the book in Quill in your hotslot keys on the bottom. And then you do a long press, I believe, mine is loading, on the screen in order to open up the book in Quill to get this view here. Let me just try that real quick. Okay, it's loading. I will come back to that, but I'm pretty sure it's a long press, and that will get you there. All right, so once you sign and close, what will happen, it'll send you back into your world, but like Sunshine said, now you have this purple shiny looking book instead of a book in Quill book. So this is called like an enchanted book or something, I believe. This is what happens to your book in Quill once you sign and close it. All right, so that's another reason why we can't go back in and edit it once it's signed and closed, I should say. Okay, so then what you do is, again, just like we did before, you're going to right click. You're going to have that enchanted book in your hand and you're going to right click. That will open up what looks like your book in Quill. The only difference is it's a view only version, and down on the bottom, instead of having sign, you have export. So you're going to click on export, and then exactly what it did with our portfolio yesterday, it's going to save this as a PDF file. But the nice part about the book in Quill, the portfolio only allows you to export pictures. The book in Quill will export text and pictures, or pictures, I should say. Okay, so that's kind of where the book in Quill comes into play, is you can add text in addition to the pictures. So it just kind of depends on your goal of what you're wanting to do. If you only want pictures, you can use the portfolio. If you want text and or pictures, you can use the book in Quill. All right, I will pause there. I've got my thing open. Let me go grab my book in Quill. So we've got some questions about the iPad. Book in Quill. There you are. Long press. Yep, so long press. So you get on the iPad, you get your book in Quill in your hand. So you select it in your hotslot keys, and then you long press on the screen, and that opens up your book in Quill page. Oops, except for I am in portfolio. There we go. Yep. Okay. So how do you edit the text on the iPad? Holding in the space bar is not working. So you'll tap on the screen, you'll type. Yeah, so you should be able to just hold down your space bar and that drags your cursor. Or let me see if you can just tap your cursor. No, it won't let you tap your cursor. But yeah, I can hold down on my keyboard and then just drag the cursor wherever I want. Or you can always just backspace. Okay, Jesus says that he thinks it's around 100 pages for the limit of the book and quill. I would be really surprised if you got to 100 pages of a book and quill. Okay. So iPad, do you press read? It should say sign down on the bottom, just like the Windows Mac version. And then sign and close. Unless you might be on a different version, you could try and see if your app is updated, or I could potentially be on a different version. I don't think so. I think mine's updated. Oh, good question, Terry. Thank you for bringing that up. What does the immersive reader button do? So this button right here, down on the bottom right, that's called immersive reader. And if you're not familiar with immersive reader, it's embedded throughout a lot of different Office 365 and Microsoft tools. So Forms, Word, OneNote, Minecraft, Office Mix, just a few. And it's also getting embedded in other third-party tools as well now. Have this immersive reader button, and basically what it does is it puts the reader into a custom view that they can change. And so they can make it read aloud. You can make the text bigger and smaller. You can highlight nouns or verbs. You can have line focus. If you have students that are dyslexic, they can add line focus where it just shows one line. You can do 1, 3, or 5 lines, I believe, with the line focus. So that is a really awesome feature, and it's embedded in Minecraft Education Edition. So you're not going to find it in the portfolio because the portfolio is pictures only. But since the book and quill has text, you'll have that immersive reader button. Okay, so once you click sign and close, you get to your enchanted book, you right click it, then you get that export button. It exports it as a PDF exactly like the portfolio. The only difference is you can have the text in addition to the pictures. So for those of you that are participating in the student build challenge tomorrow, this is exactly how we're going to have your students export their builds in order to share with you. So they will use the book and quill, they'll take pictures, they'll use the book and quill to explain their builds however they want. And this is a little bit depending upon how you want to direct your students in terms of what they write. And they can add pictures that way, and then they export as a PDF. All right. And then kind of the final step in that, and we'll explain all of this tomorrow in our kickoff call, is you will choose the winner, the one build challenge winner from your class, and then you will upload that PDF to a Padlet wall. So exactly like you did yesterday, to upload your PDF of your portfolio to the Padlet wall, you'll upload your student winner to a Padlet wall that will be shared out with everybody. So that's kind of how all that practice or all that process goes. So you have basically at this point done everything that you need to know how to do in order to have your students do that build challenge. All right, so again, there is kind of an explanation of the book and quill, what it is, how to do it. So here's your steps. There's a how-to video in addition to the screenshots. And then this just kind of gives some ideas of how you can use the book and quill. So from a teacher perspective, you can use a book and quill to provide instructions and information in a Minecraft world for your students. So if you remember yesterday when we did our build challenge, we had those things called a chest, and we had you open the chest and you had some blocks in there where you can actually embed a book and quill within a chest in a Minecraft world. And then your students can open up that chest, click on the book and quill, and get instructions. I'm going to show you another way that you can give instructions called a chalkboard here in a few minutes, but that is an option, is to do that book and quill. I would say that's probably more of a advanced, like level 2 thing. I wouldn't do that right out of the gate the first time that you use Minecraft with your students, but just so you know, it is something that you can do. Then from the student perspective, the book and quill, they can use it to compile text and pictures in order to explain their learning. They can add more text than chalkboards, which I know doesn't make sense because I haven't showed you chalkboards yet, but that will make sense in a minute. So chalkboards have a limited amount of characters that can be added to them versus the book and quill, you can add lots and lots and lots of text. It's just also a great way to share in a Minecraft world the information that they want to share with you. And that will kind of make sense too once we get to talking about managing worlds. So that's some ideas there. All right, let me pause real quick. We're doing okay on time. Just check questions. So Roxanne, we're going to walk through all of those steps of how to share on the Padlet tomorrow, as well as I went through it yesterday. So if you need those steps of how do you put the PDF that you've exported into a Padlet wall, either go back to the recording from yesterday or we're going to walk through it tomorrow. Christina says, since you can open and edit PDFs in Word, could you edit your book? So you can convert a PDF into a Word file. So technically, yes, if you converted a PDF into a Word file, you could then edit it outside of the Minecraft world. Okay, all right, better move on. So some more ideas for Book and Quill. There is a lesson plan on the Minecraft Education Edition website. So if you remember way back to day one, Monday, it's been a long week, I showed you those lesson plans on the Minecraft Education Edition website. There is some really good lesson plans about story elements, and I do have a link here in a few slides to one of those lesson plans. So one thing I like to think of in terms of using Minecraft from a reading and writing perspective is you can do lots of different things kind of in this read, write, build cycle. So you could have your students read a story, and then they could go into a Minecraft world and they could build elements of that story, maybe a setting or a character from the story that they read. Or you could have your students build something in Minecraft and then write a story about it. That's what we did today in our example. So I had you build something like a tree house, and then you went into your Book and Quill and you wrote a story using that build as the setting or a detailed description of that world. Or you can flip-flop that. You could have your students write and then they build the setting of their story or the character or some sort of element from what they wrote in their Minecraft world. So this is a really great way to add some hands-on and engagement to your kind of ELA, English Language Arts, reading, writing type lessons, is kind of integrating Minecraft in there. So again, thinking about building settings. This is an idea I pulled off of Twitter, and there's a link to the tweet and a screenshot of the tweet here on this slide. This was a second grade teacher. She had her students read Thanksgiving themed books, and then they wrote summaries of the books, and then they went and built the story or the summary of the stories in Minecraft. So here's an example of Clifford's Thanksgiving visit book, and then the story, and then the build in Minecraft, just to give you some ideas. Here is that link to one of those lesson plans that's on the Minecraft Education Edition website. It's called Building a Story Setting, and that will take you through. It has objectives and steps and all sorts of good stuff. So there is a link here. Oh, slide am I on? Slide 242 has a link to that lesson plan for you. All right, let's talk about Chalkboard. So I kind of mentioned this when we were talking about the Book and Quill. The same exact way that you went in and grabbed your portfolio and your camera and your Book and Quill, you can go into your inventory, and if you search for board, B-O-A-R-D, it will pop up a chalkboard. And let me show you what that looks like. So you would grab that board, you would get it in your hotslot keys, and then you'd right click and it places that in the world. And then what you can do, it looks like this here on the screen where that yellow arrow is pointing. Did I put a picture? I didn't. But then what you can do is if you right click on the board once it's in the world, you get this view. That's how you put the content that you want to add to the board. So you would write whatever you want to show up here. And then this is what it looks like. So there are actually 3 different sizes of boards. Chalkboards, I should say. Board is the largest, poster is kind of the medium size, and slate is the small size. So depending upon what size that you want, you just search for that title in your inventory, grab it and place it in the world. Okay. One other thing I want to note, when you're in editing a chalkboard, and it doesn't matter if it's a board, a poster, or a slate, it will always look the same here. On the bottom, there's an option to lock or unlock a chalkboard. So if you're going to use a chalkboard, to provide instructions to your students in a world. So kind of the same idea of placing a book and quill in a chest. You're giving them instructions. You want to make sure that you have the board locked. And what that means is then students can't edit that board. The other thing you can do, though, is you can unlock a board and you can use it to have students write information. Keep in mind, though, that the amount of characters or text you can put on a chalkboard is limited. So obviously a board is going to give you the most, and then a slate, or then a poster, then a slate. But the board isn't going to give you even close to as much room to write, even as the book and quill. Okay, so the other advantage of a chalkboard, though, is that it's in the world and it's very obvious, versus the book and quill, if you put it in a chest, it's kind of hidden. They have to click on the chest in order to find it. All right, so again, there is how-to steps and a video of how to place chalkboards into your world, and then just some ideas of how you can use chalkboards, which I pretty much just went through. But from the teacher perspective, using it to communicate directions, goals, additional information, challenging students with problems to solve in the game. This is a really great way to do math problems. You can put a math problem on a board and then they have to solve it. And then for students, you can use chalkboards to have them explain their world, add writing, etc. But you just need to make sure that the board is unlocked in order for students to edit it. Okay, let's talk about this. So we have not talked about what are called slash commands yet. So if you're in your Minecraft world right now, if you hit the / button, so on your keyboard, it's the same key as the question mark. So if you tap that button, it brings up a view that looks kind of like this. This is called the chat and commands view. If you're on an iPad, up at the top, there is just to the left of the pause, there's an icon that looks like a conversation bubble. That's your chat and commands view. So you just tap on that and it gets you to the same place. So down here, this is where you can type information. So as long as you put a /, so if you opened it by doing a /, you'll already have it there. If you're on an iPad, you'll want to click down in there and then add a /. Then you can type certain commands, and that allows it, you're basically telling your Minecraft world to do certain things. So remember the other day when I told you, you guys were building and it was raining on some of you, and some of you had nighttime because you didn't have the perfect weather and the always day features on. I said there's another way that you can make it quit raining and you can make it turn to light. That's through / commands. So if you do, and actually let me just get into my Minecraft world real quick and I'll show you this. If you grab, get here. Okay, so I hit that / key on my keyboard. It gets me into chat and commands. I already have the / because that's how I got here. If I type weather, let me see if I can remember the command. Yeah, there we go. So if I type weather, look what happens. It tells me, okay, this is kind of like coding in a way, but not. Weather sets the weather. Then I do a space and it says, okay, here's all of the different commands you can tell your Minecraft world to do when it comes to weather. So I can do weather space and type clear. And what that does is if it's raining, it clears the weather for you. So that's an example of a chat command. There is also a command, really the only one that you need to know, and it's called World Builder Mode. So /WB stands for World Builder. That turns on and off the ability to edit a Minecraft world. So most likely, if you have your students in a Minecraft world, you want to have world builder mode set to what's called false. And I just think of false equals off. That means that they can't edit things. All right. So if I have chalkboards within my world, I don't want my students to go in and be able to edit a chalkboard that's locked. So you need to have world builder mode set to off. Now, if you are editing a world and you want to be able to place chalkboards, you need to have world builder mode set to on, right? Because you're adding chalkboards to the world. Okay, I know that's kind of confusing and it might not make total sense here, but it will make more sense here in a second. So the reason I need to explain that to you is when we get to our next set of ways to export information, it's called an NPC. Anybody know what NPC stands for? Add it to the chat. See if we have any gamers in the world or in the room. No one? Anyone? 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 Okay. NPC, you could ask your kids this. I bet they know what an NPC stands for. NPC stands for non-player character. So anytime you're in gaming world, computer games, anytime you hear NPC, it stands for non-player character. So this is what an NPC looks like. Let me jump ahead. So an NPC is a little character that's embedded in your world that doesn't move, doesn't play. He or she is basically just there to give you instructions. So how you set an NPC in a world is, first step is you have to have world builder mode set to true or on. Okay, so you'll have to go /WB enter and then see what pops up on the screen. It'll say, okay, world builder mode is either in true or false mode. And you can just do that over and over again. Anytime you do /WB enter, it turns world builder mode on or off, true or false. So you want to make sure you do it until you see world builder mode is true. Once you've done that, then you're going to go into your inventory. You're going to search for NPC. Now, this really trips people up because you don't actually see a little character. You see this kind of rainbow colored egg. Anything, any mob or NPC in Minecraft, so anything that moves or any NPCs, they spawn from an egg. Okay, so like if I go into Minecraft world and I search for a wolf, I'm going to find an egg. If I search for a chicken, I'm going to find an egg. All right, so you're going to grab that little NPC egg and you're going to put it into your hotslot keys, exit out of your inventory, and then you're going to right click to place it into your world. All right, and then as soon as you do that, you'll see your little NPC character spawn and it should look something similar to this. All right, so again, if for some reason you go to place your NPC in your world and it doesn't let you, that means you're not in world builder status true, you're in world builder status false. So you'll need to go /WB enter. Whoops. Okay. Now, once you get your NPC into the world, you can right click on your NPC or long press on an iPad and it opens up this view. This is how you choose what you want your NPC to say. So the name of the NPC where it says click here, that's what shows up above the NPC. So I like to put click here because then it's really evident to my students that they need to go and right click on that NPC because it's going to give them some information. Then you click on edit dialog and that will open up where you can actually type what the NPC will say. So at the beginning, way back Monday, I gave you the example of the human eye world. So let's say you have your students in that world and you want to tell them that they should go and find the cornea. You can put that information in an NPC. All right. You could also do this with a chalkboard. One advantage that the NPC gives you is in addition to adding text, you can also add links to external websites. So when you're in this view here and you click on advanced settings down on the bottom, that will take you here. And then you can say add URL and you can actually put a link to a website in your NPC. So when your students right click the NPC, they get the link, they click it and it opens that website in another view. So that's a really good way to kind of create guided lessons within Minecraft. Let's say you want to have them go to NASA website and find information and then come back into Minecraft and apply that information in some way. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information. We're doing on time. Oh yeah, I better keep going. So let me keep going and then I'll answer questions at the end. So again, here's information about what an NPC is, how to add an NPC. There's a video that explains this. And this is just some information about when teachers and students might want to use NPCs. So that's something to think about too, is your students can use NPCs. It's a good way to create little virtual tours of their worlds for you, like what they've built in their worlds. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, so I added some slides to talk about another way. Now, this isn't a Minecraft Education Edition feature, but you can also have your students take screenshots or screencast videos of their work. So I gave you some different tools within the 3 different platforms. So here's how you can do screenshots in Windows. Here's how you can do screencast videos in Windows. I love having students do screencast videos of their worlds because then you get to hear them and you can kind of hear how they went about their build process and kind of hear that metacognition, that learning process. Here's how you do a screenshot on a Mac, screencast videos on a Mac, iPad screenshots, and then here is the built-in screen recorder for iPad as well. So just depending upon which device you're using, you'll have to do those screencast videos and screenshots, maybe in a slightly different way. All right, so let me keep moving on because we need to make sure we talk about managing Minecraft. So I wanted to make sure on this view here, so when you log into Minecraft Education Edition, you get to this view, and we already talked about the library, right? We made a new world, but I just want to make sure you knew that whenever you save a Minecraft world, those worlds live here in this view where this arrow is pointing called View My Worlds. So if you click on that, that's where you can go in and find any Minecraft world that you have opened and saved, right? Unless you've gone in and deleted it, which you can. But as long as you've not deleted those worlds, they will live here. We also very briefly viewed the library yesterday, and I had you go in and do the monthly build challenges, but I just wanted to point out that there's also lessons in there. So if you click on lessons, you get all of these different subject areas. You can click in there. So for example, math, you have tons of examples that are aligned to Common Core. There's a section with fraction related worlds. You also have this biomes and worlds section. I love this section. So you get biomes and featured worlds. The biomes in particular are awesome. So this is where you can go in and have your students go to the desert or a river or an ocean or a jungle, etc. So there's all these different biome worlds that are already created for you, so you don't have to do any of that. And then the how to play section has some different tutorial worlds that are there for you. So that's kind of a nice way for you to advance your Minecraft skills, and it's also nice for students sometimes too to do those tutorial worlds. You also have what are called template worlds, and if you think way back to Tuesday, I had you actually create a template called the Blocks of Grass world. That's my favorite template. I use it all the time. So when you click on Create New, you get the option to create a blank world from whatever you want or a template world. So if you click on templates, you get all of these different options. Some of this will be duplicate from what you're going to find either in the biomes, the featured worlds, the lessons. Some of that might be duplicate, but just so you know, those are there as well. Okay, now this is important. We haven't really talked about this much yet. It's important to know that Minecraft worlds save locally. So that means that Minecraft worlds do not save in the cloud. They save on the device that you're working on. So that's really backwards to what we've gotten used to in the world of cloud computing, right? When we're working in Office 365, everything's in the cloud. Minecraft is not. Everything saves locally. So what you have to do if you're using shared devices. Now, if your students have a one-to-one setup, this isn't something you really necessarily have to worry as much about. But especially if you're sharing devices, like a cart kind of style, you have to make sure, let's say that Susie comes in, she grabs the Windows laptop number 1 on Monday, she works on her world, but then tomorrow she might come in and grab Windows laptop number 2. You have to make sure that they export those worlds so that they can then import it in on the other device. It's also just kind of a good sharing tip, or excuse me, saving tip to make sure that you are saving your worlds. You can go in and export them. So I want to walk you through that process of how you export and import worlds. And it's actually really quite simple. So if you want to export a world, you would go into your View My World section, and then you would find the world that you want to export. If you click on it, you get the option to play, host, or settings. If you go into settings, you're going to see a view similar to what we did on Tuesday, where if you scroll over down on the right, you have these show classroom settings options where you can go in, and that's where you can set your perfect weather and your always day. There's also this option to export world right below it. So all you do is click on export world, and that's it. And then it will have you save that world to wherever you want to save it. At that point, you could save it in your OneDrive. You could save it to the device. You could save it on a USB drive, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to save it. That's how you export your worlds out of Minecraft. Now, let's say that you exported a world and then you want to go and you want to import it into Minecraft on a different device. That's super simple to do. On your main screen, you have a button that says import. So you just click on that, you find the Minecraft world, and then it adds it right into the Minecraft on the device that you're on. So that's pretty simple. Okay. Also, we need to talk about multiplayer mode. So this is a really great way to have your students collaborate with Minecraft, but it's also a great way to have you manage Minecraft from the teacher perspective. So getting students into a multiplayer world is actually pretty easy. So the requirements have changed. It used to be that you had to be on the same internet network in order to use multiplayer world, but that's not the case anymore. So guess what that means is even if we are doing online learning and remote learning, your students can still work in a multiplayer world together. This is the requirements you have to have. You have to be in the same Office 365 tenant. So you cannot do multiplayer world with the school that's in a different district, right? That has a different Office 365 tenant. So you just have to have the same accounts, Office 365 accounts. You also need to be in the most up-to-date version, and everybody needs to be on the same version in order for it to work well. So that those two kind of go hand in hand. So just make sure that you're on the most up-to-date version of Minecraft Education Edition. There is a link here to an article that explains this, as well as some troubleshooting tips if it's not working. And if you ever need help with anything related to Minecraft, but especially multiplayer world, you can send a support ticket to the Minecraft Education Edition team, and they're super good about getting back to you and helping you work through different issues. So let's walk through how do you host and how do you join a multiplayer world. Super simple. You would go into your View My Worlds view, and then you click on the world that you want to start. So this would be, let's use the example of you're a teacher and you want all of your students to join into your world. You would want to start by hosting the world. So you go in, you click on the world, you click host, and then it gives you this code. So you always have 3 little Minecraft icons. That's the code that you're going to share with anybody that's going to join that world. All right. So what I do is I just put this up on the projector, or if you're doing virtual learning, put it up on the screen like I have now. Start it. Then once you have that code available, you have your students join the world. So in order to join a world, it's actually really simple. They just go to that home screen again. They click on join world, and then they just enter whatever that code is of those 3 Minecraft characters and click confirm. And then it will put those characters into the world that's being hosted. All right. So that's really simple. I've got all the instructions in here for you. Just a few notes about managing a multiplayer world. You do have these permission levels. Whoever is hosting the world in a multiplayer setting, you can set the people that join the world, so the students, to either be a visitor or a member. Visitor means they can only view. Member means they can interact and play. So that's the only difference there. What I like to do, a really great way to manage Minecraft is put all your students in the same world. So you host the world, all your students join, and then let's say you're having them do a build challenge. You say, all right, go run around the world. In this case, we're just in a blocks of grass world. I have them put up a fence and a sign, and that becomes their area. And we make it really clear that you're not allowed to touch anybody else's area in Minecraft unless they tell you you can, right? So you are not allowed to touch anybody else. You're not allowed to even go in anybody else's fence unless they tell you that they can. So they like to put up a little sign and put their name on it, right? You know, here's Haley's area, and that's where I'm going to build. Okay, so that's a really great way to manage Minecraft. Collaborative builds are also great for kind of incorporating collaboration into your class. I do not have time to talk about this, but I put the slides in here for you. So starting on slide 310, I kind of go through the process that I take if I'm doing a collaborative build. So I have them set, they get roles, they get specialty roles, and I kind of have all these little characters that talk about the role, the job duties and the actions and the words of each of the specialty roles. And then they plan, they do a build blueprint, just like we did yesterday. Then they join their world. I set a time limit, etc. So that's kind of my process that I found that works really well for collaborative builds. All right, let me get to the wrap up stuff because we've got to do our badge and our survey today. And then I will answer questions. So I did link, there is a Minecraft course on the Microsoft Educator community called My Minecraft Journey. It's really, really good. So if you're wanting to further your Minecraft skills, I would recommend going in and doing that course. All right, let's talk about how to get your badge. So I mentioned on Monday that you guys are going to get some points and a badge in the Microsoft Educator community. So let me show you kind of the process, and then I'll put the badge code back up on the screen. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to education.microsoft.com. That's the Microsoft Educator community. You're going to need to either log in if you already have an account or create an account if you don't. You can sync your Office 365 account with the Microsoft Educator community, which makes it really easy to make an account there. All right. Once you sign in or create an account, up in the top right corner, you're going to see your initials most likely, and you're going to click on that. You get the option to either go to your profile to sign out or to redeem an achievement code. So that's what you want to click, is redeem achievement code. It'll bring up this view, and all you do is you just type or copy and paste your code into the box and click redeem. All right. Now, sometimes it will load the badge that you get right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So if you click on redeem, nothing happens, don't worry. The next time you come into the educator community, it will probably pop up a screen that says, hey, congratulations, you got this badge. So it's really, sometimes it does it right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Okay, so here is your badge code, and it is on the slide. Let me copy and paste that into the chat as well. So you have this. So here's your badge code. Okay, Christy got to it for me before me. Let me put it here. I'll put it in again. Oops, super not large. There we go. All right, so all you have to do is copy and paste that into the Microsoft Educator community, and that will redeem your badge and points for attending this week. Last thing, pretty please make sure to give us some feedback on these webinar series. So if you go to aka.ms/munchinminesurvey, it will take you to a quick little survey to give us some feedback. And I believe that is it. Anything else, Lindsay or Christy, that we need to do before they log off?
No, I thank you so much again for today. I put the link to the PDHs in the chat window, so make sure that you grab your credit for joining us today, and then tomorrow's event for this. I'm signing my own kids up. They're really big into Minecraft, so it's be really cool to see what they do with it as well. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Adam for curating all the resources in the chat as well, giving us a one-stop shop for those links. Yeah, so thanks.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Great week. Fun times. I will answer questions. So if you want to stick around, I'll answer questions. If not, you are do the survey and you are welcome to go. So let's see. Sue says, Immersive Reader is available in Flipgrid now. Yeah, it's actually been in there a while, and I love that. I use Flipgrid all the time. So Flipgrid, Wakelet. What are some other third-party tools that have Immersive Reader? You know, they're popping up a lot of them. But yeah, lots of tools, and they're coming. So what happened was, so Immersive Reader is a Microsoft tool. Microsoft, I believe, I want to say like January, February-ish, opened up their API, which basically means that they've said, okay, we're going to allow pretty much anybody that wants to connect Immersive Reader with their tools to do that. So that's why we're starting to see Immersive Reader pop up in all these different third-party tools. All right, David says, is there a way to mark a spot that you want to return to as you explore your world? I mean, there's not really a feature that does that. You could always place a chalkboard down and kind of write on it, like, you know, stopped here or something. But now another thing you could do, actually, I just thought of something. You can grab coordinates and then you can teleport yourself to coordinates. So that is one thing that you can do. If I have time, I'll show you how to do that. But there isn't really any formal feature that's like, you know, stop here and then put me back here type of thing. Now, whenever you save and exit out of a Minecraft world, whenever you go back into the Minecraft world, it just starts you right where you saved and exited out. So that's one thing as well. All right, let's see. So Roxanne, iPad, after pressing export. Oh, yes, we already talked about that. How to do to the Padlet. We'll go through it again tomorrow, and we also did it yesterday. So just go back to that recording if you need to know how to add a PDF to the Padlet wall. It's really simple. You just click on the thing and you press the little upload button and then grab the file. Okay, I already answered that. Can you link a URL on the chalkboard? Good question. I don't believe so. I think the only way to add a URL in a Minecraft world that's actually a live link is in an NPC, a non-player character. Can you lock the slash commands? I believe so. I think there's a feature in the classroom settings now. Let me go in here and check before I lie to you here. Let's go escape settings. Show classroom settings. Oh, no, it's not there. I swear there's a way. Oh, here's my show coordinates. So to answer that question, if you turn this on, you can grab coordinates to where you're at in your world. They're a little bit like GPS coordinates, but work slightly different. And then you can teleport yourself to that part of the world, and you can actually send, anyway, yeah, let's not get into that. That's like next level stuff. I swear there's a way to, do you guys, anybody you know, Adam, Christy, isn't there a way to turn off chat commands? Or is that in classroom mode? Go dig in here and see if I can find. I swear there is. I wonder if I have to be in.
I believe you're right. I will have to look on my back end too to just check exactly where that is.
Yeah, I swear there is, and I thought it was in the classroom settings. I'm not seeing it. Respawn, activate cheats. Oh, you know what? I think it's activate cheats. Turns it off. Let's try that. I think if you turn off activate cheats, then if I go in and I hit, oops. No, oop, no, not how to play. Sorry, let's try this one more time. Resume game. Oh, no, see, that still puts that on. Oh, yeah, okay, so see how it says cheats aren't enabled? So if I try to do something, it won't let me. Let me see if I can chat. It still lets me chat, though. I think turning off chat. Okay, so sorry, backing up. So you can turn off slash commands. by turning off cheats. So if you go into a world and then go to settings, turn off activate cheats. So you want the slider to the left. That will turn off the / commands. You also in that view have chat. And that really is only a thing if you're in a multiplayer world. Players can chat each other. I'm almost positive there's a thing called classroom mode we didn't get into, and I think you can turn off chat in classroom mode. There you go. All right. Oh, we did have some people that knew non-player character. Just didn't come up on my fast enough. Can you import custom skins to an NPC? I don't believe so. I think with an NPC, you get only the options that they give you. I'm pretty sure. So let's check. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Okay, look what's happening. I can't place my NPC. Why? Because I'm not in world builder mode. And guess what? I turned off my cheats, so I can't get into world builder mode. So what I have to do is go back into my settings and scroll down and say activate cheats. Then go to resume game. Then let's go make sure I am in world builder mode true. And now I can place my NPC. There we go. No, I don't think so. I think these are what you get. There's more options than there used to be, though. This one's kind of fun. Little robot guy. Advanced settings, that just says the URL and the command. So yeah, I don't think you can add a custom skin to an NPC. All right. Can you have more than one NPC? Yeah, Sue, you can have as many NPCs as you want in a world. So just keep spawning them. Okay, yeah, Adam said, don't think you can do skins. Yep, I agree. Let's see. Oh, Ashley, that is your agent. So that has to do with your code builder. So yeah, Adam answered that one. So if you get the little guy roaming around your world, if you click on C, that puts you in code builder mode. And then once you're in code builder mode, you get your little, where is he? There he is. You get your agent. And he will just kind of follow you around. So just ignore him. Ooh, robot agent guy. Okay. And we didn't have time to talk about Code Builder, but that's something you can explore. And there's lots of information on the Minecraft Education Edition website for that. Got the PD links. Okay. I think I'm close to the end here. Yeah, all right. Any other questions that I missed or didn't get to? Any other questions?